warm welcome from my side here, London RevX. Great opportunity for me to speak here. And we'll start with some words about my person. I'm Klaus Rieger. I'm leading at our insurance company the area of data management, data science, and data governance. Right, so don't expect any code samples from my side. Right, I'm more the guy which is knowing what the things can do rather than how it works. Right, I have a colleague with me. If you have some detailed questions on how we implemented something, you can ask him later on. Right, maybe first one short question: who is already running Domino DataLab at his organization? Okay, it's a third of them. So I think for the other ones, I have lots of content. That's nice. And the other ones, who's doing it for more than 3 years? Okay, maybe you can give me some feedback afterwards on how we can enhance the next phase of implementation. Right, so what am I talking about today? Right, I give you a little bit an introduction to what is Baloise, how big is it, what's the way we're going, what was the problem statement to implement a new platform on Go into Scale, and why we've chosen the solution we have chosen, right? At second, I give some insights, brief insights, right, on our implementation. So, yeah, the project plan, people, how we were working together, right, and the target operating model we will have. And then I can give you an overview on some AI use cases we are implementing at Baloise. Right, this is more like a global overview. That's not only machine learning things we have done with Domino, but also maybe interesting to see the strategy, how we categorize that kind of stuff. And at the very end, I try to give you an impression on what's the value for our organization and what were the success factors, right? Especially interesting for the ones who are not already running Domino. Okay, Baloise is one could say not a traditional insurance company. We are a small company with a headquarter in Switzerland, right? And as you might know, Switzerland is a small market, right? We have 8 million people, and 10% of them are our customers. So it's not such a big company, but we have, let's say, a broad spectrum of services, right? For the customers, innovative products, things like this. Also, we take a big look into financial well-being, pension and stuff for our people, right? What makes us special in the area of Switzerland is that we also have a bank running there, right? So what we combine is insurance business with banking business, right? So you're free with us to choose whether you want an investment product or if you go in then life insurance, whatever. Furthermore, we are active in Germany, Belgium, Luxembourg. Belgium, we're also very huge. We're number 3 in this market, but it's a very comparable one to Switzerland, so it's a small one. And I don't know who already has been in touch with Baloise. There was big news maybe 2 or 3 months ago. So we will have a merger together with another Swiss insurance company. This is Helvetia. And yeah, together with Helvetia, we will jump up to be the number 2 in Switzerland, right? So with probably 1.8 million customers in Switzerland. And yeah, we'll also be one of the top 10 public listed insurers in Europe, right? Sounds big. We see maybe this could be one of the next topics for RevX in 26. Okay, I think enough from Baloise and my person. Let's go into the topic. So, right, I think when we started thinking about, hey, we need a data science platform or something like this, this is now, I think 2 years ago, right? And what was the situation there? We were in a transformation which was calling Journey to the Cloud, right? Where we're shifting from Baloise maintained self-contained data center into a private cloud, right? Together with HCL, they're supporting us there, and also some parts in the public cloud. With this movement, we've realized that kind of our policies might or need to be changed, right? Especially one is there, right? So in our old world, it was like that I were able with my ThinkPad and RStudio connect to any productive database and do my analytics, right? Okay, I see your face. This is now not allowed anymore. It's like, okay, client machine is going to a server, is going to a database. And we were looking for a solution for that. And we found one, right? Guess which one it is? Yeah. But we also found some strategic advantages or the needs, right, which we did not know before we started the evaluating process, right? The first one is computing resources. If you work on a local machine or let's say a fixed virtual machine, it's like you have a fixed computing power, computing resources, and that's it, right? So some of our use cases or calculations were lasting for hours and days, right? Just because we don't have a scalable platform underneath, right? Furthermore, the topic of working together. I don't know, in this business analytics environment, I think you know this. Also, the guy from UBS was referring to that. You request an Excel file, and then you make a new Excel file. You send it somewhere else, and you get it back, and then you make another Excel file, and at the end, you promote this one into the organization, right? And we were seeing, okay, hey, this cannot be the future anymore, right? We need to scale, we need to get pace, and so on, right? Furthermore, the all-in-one solution at one place, right? So we had a couple of guys working with R, working with Python, but everyone was maintaining its own development environment, right? And depending on which libraries you had different results. So also something which we've realized. Okay, security and governance, this is something which came with the platform, so pretty nice, we took it. All right, so we were looking for the solution, and what we found there at the end was Domino DataLab, right? And I have put some just arguments why it fits so good to Baloise, right? The first thing is cost benefit, right? From cost benefit, it's like it's scaling with the users, right? We have pretty clear amount which we have to pay per month per user, and if you onboard new teams, right? Then it's just clear, and this is something which we really like. All the security issues are solved, right? So with the Domino platform, we can do analytics on productive databases. It's not an issue at all. Plus, it's also tracked, so we have some new governance features on top as well. Perfectly. Functional fit as well. So the use cases we run, the data products, the models we are implementing, all of them can be done with Domino DataLab. So this is also nice, right? The operational model and effort, this is something I go a little deeper later on. This is also a big advantage because we didn't really have to hire new people to run this new platform. Right, so we have some support in our IT services. That's right, but say how we did it, and at the end, let's say the support is done through a community. From an architecture point of view, it's also fitting perfectly into our strategy with, let's say, the hybrid cloud thing, right? So we have an on-prem installation, so we're pretty fast in accessing all our on-prem data, which is, I don't know, 95% of it. But we're also able to connect to the public cloud. And once we did the shift, right, we will be able to do the journey together with Domino DataLab into the public cloud setup. It's really great, yeah. And the last one, and this is really something I have to point out, the migration effort was unbelievable low from my point of view, because all you have to do is plug your Git repository, right, compile your existing project and then deploy it. Maybe the technical guys will see it a little bit different, but from a management perspective, this is really crazy. With any other platform, it would have been like that we would do a re-implementation of the solutions we already have. And I think this is a big, big plus for Domino, why we've chosen for it. All right. So I have to get a little bit faster, so we started later. Okay, let's take a look at the project plan we had, right? So it's a, let's say, a very lean one. We just took 4 weeks on installation, 7 weeks on implementation, which means all the connections, bring it into environment, security stuff, and so on, right? In parallel, we started an enablement phase. Enablement phase means that we have 4 to 5 power users defined as a data scientists. They were in the project from begin on, and yeah, they got all the capabilities on how to configure what, how are the things working, how can I implement a use case, to then at the end, if you have all the teams up and running, to be somehow multiplicators, right? And also, during this enablement, we saw that we got, we built up a very good support organization, because those power users are able to answer, let's say, 70%, 75% of our internal tickets, right? Then we started a rollout and stabilization phase, right? Depending on this perspective, one can say the stabilization phase is still ongoing, right? On the other hand, maybe it's more fair to say, okay, we have a platform backlog and we're working on the platform backlog, right? And as long as the time is going, the backlog will be filled up, right? But what's important to know is in between this phase, right, we had the first productive use case running. It was a tool that was scraping some online activity on baloise.ch, our homepage, right? And bringing it into a data mart so that it can be used by analysts, right? And yeah, it was in place. It's running since then. It's really great. Okay. Then the project team. I think the slides will be distributed, right? If not, then just contact me via LinkedIn and you get them, right? So let's say very briefly, we have a functional team, right, with managers, with the hands-on guys. We have our infrastructure guys and lots of architects and security architects, which we're looking if we do everything right. So with those guys, yeah, we had a technical alignment twice a week, still have it. So this is very, very, creating value for us, right? And on the other side, if it's interesting for you, you see the Domino organization, right? And I think there's one guy in this team I know the best, which is Chris. Hi, Chris. Nice that you're there, because he's joining our bi-weekly alignment call, right? And this is so why I have the feeling he did the most. But nevertheless, I think the other ones are also important. Like Francois, which was supporting our customer success, and Alan, yeah, right, which supported us in the management with good prices and good people. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, and you see, just bringing a platform online requires lots of people. And what's not seen here is that we're already planning to onboard other teams, right? Like our asset management. The German SPU will come, and then I think at the end we might end up somewhere between 50 and 100 users at Baloise. Okay, the TOM, how does it look like? As I said, we tried to have it lean. At very first, at the basic level, we have set up Domino on an OpenShift platform, right? The OpenShift team was already in place, right? So they are providing this service for all our other business applications, also the applications we create on our own. So there was no need to hire some new people with Domino DataLab technical layer people. So those are the infrastructure guys. We did a shift. We already have a team which is maintaining the SaaS platform, the software analytics systems, for those who don't know it. I think the Americans are more familiar with it. We just shifted 2 people, that their main priority is Domino DataLab, and till now this is working very properly, right? And all the other support in our organization is done with our data scientists, the power users, and so on, right? Defined 2 guys as application owners. They're like the first contact in the organization, and then they see on how to orchestrate the topic, right? Whether we have just to ask the infrastructure guys, or if you raise a support ticket at Domino, they have quite good support, also giving answers on platform configuration, or at the end, whether we have to hire Chris again to come and help us, right? But I think this is a very lean, good working thing. It requires a little bit that you have some technology fans in your data science teams, and then it might work. Yeah. Okay, I have to go a little bit faster. All right, and now I jump to the topic artificial intelligence at Baloise, right? So right here in the middle, you see our capability map, which is a little bit simplified, right? It's not saying so much, but it's saying, hey, AI is everywhere, right? If you look to sales, if you look to claims, whatever, you will have the possibility to introduce some AI stuff, some machine learning stuff there, right? This slide also gives a small impression on how we orchestrate our AI strategy, right? If you take a look to the agenda, right, we talk on embedded, high code, and self-service stuff, right? So embedded is something which we see very often, right? So we have our CRM system, we're running Guidewire and so on, and those vendors, they come more and more with AI functionalities, with using Gen AI. Sometimes it's, let's say, so that we cannot really see it or use it, but others come with AI tools and put all the management stuff around it. When, for instance, if you know Agentforce from Salesforce, this is a tool, right, where you can do customer conversations, and they have an AI thing plugged in, right? So we have also a couple of projects there. I want to point out 2. The first one is, we call it Sprachroboter. It's a conversational AI implementation of, and the second one is SmartFix. This is our document indexation software. So this is the software which we use to get user data out of documents, right? And for those kind of applications, we said we go buy before make, because, let's say, the surrounding technology is creating lots of value and would be hard to create it on our own, right? With the telephony thing, right, you have to plug into the telephone system, you need the interfaces to our Genesis stuff, you have to implement all the exception handling, monitoring, whatever, and this is why we said we buy it, right? Same for document indexing, right? So you need also a solution which is giving you a good confidence, because we give the data into dark processing, right? And then it needs to be right. Also, if we then have the confidence it's not right, what the AI extracted out of the document, you need the solution to correct this and then bring it to your dark processing, right? And this is why we said the management of those solutions is much more effort to create it on our own than, let's say, the AI thing, which might be possible to do it, but yeah, we didn't, right? But there are other things, right, which we clearly say they are in high code environments. So high code is, let's say, the individual software we've created for Baloise itself, right? Big examples are, of course, fraud detection. This is, we don't bought a big solution, we did it on our own. At the end, it's a dashboard and some web services. Also, the complete client scoring, segmentation stuff and so on. This is something which we've implemented on our own, creating the models and then bring the results to a data mart. Implemented with Domino. I think this is clear. This is what we can do on our own. The two others, which are marked bold here, I will give you a short impression what they're doing. And pretty new in the area of AI, as we understand it, is the self-service stuff, right? So everyone is now able to create a prompt, right? And therefore have an application. Also, most of the people are able to create new agent application with things like Copilot Studio, for instance, or with some public available stuff. And this is also something we have to treat in our AI strategy, right? But Domino is very clearly positioned to be the solution for analytics, AI solutions we do on our own for Baloise. All right, two examples. I think 4 minutes left. One of the use cases we have migrated, I guess this is something which many people already know, right? We have a price comparison platform in Switzerland. It's called Comparis, right? And if you want to get a new car insurance, you go there, put some parameters, and then we see, oh, damn, Baloise is on rank 4 or rank 5 and no one will call us, right? So we could have solved this by just making our products cheaper, but if you would make it cheaper, then yeah, we would get problems with the risk guys, right? So what we did then is implement a new method. So we're buying data from a company which is scraping all the inputs and outputs from this Comparis hotline, right? And we get a complete set on how does it behave from an AXA, for instance, or a Zurich insurance. What will they pay in this constellation? We take this data, we create a model out of it and simulate the tariff of our competitors during our premium calculation, and then give a discount or a top-up, right? Or we re-raise it if we are on place number 1, right? And we see, okay, we're 20% cheaper than number 2, then we might put 10% on the premium, right? And this is how we level the loss of premium in this use case, right?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Are you using any sort of AI workflows that are sort of going in and controlling screens to go and input data, to pull the data out, like the latest models?
Yes. So we're working together with a company which is doing that, right? And it's a pricey service. And what we realize during monitoring the requests that come to us is that we have nearly only robot requests, right? So everything which is coming through the platform is from robots, right? So yeah, so they're doing it. But this is a very, very successful use case. If you can believe it. Okay, the next one, I think I'm very close. Maybe can I have another 5 minutes? Okay, perfect. I started later. Yeah, you can read this later on, but I think this is one of our use cases which is, let's say, at the very high end. And I give you just a short impression on what it's doing, right? We're here now in the area of pension planning, financial planning. So at Baloise, we have a software, and in this software, I can put everyone's financial situation. For instance, you might have 2 houses and a collection of Swiss watches and maybe some life insurance, right? Another one has just a depot with 500,000 US dollars, I don't know. So every situation is different. We're able to put those informations into a software, And then based off the software, we can calculate some events, right? So if you retired, maybe you want to go onto a big travel, whatever. So if you go to the North Pole, this is easy, 20,000 francs per person. And then we're planning such kind of events, and also you can plan when you have to sell your house because you're too old, or how much money you need if you need some support during getting older, and so on, right? This is what we see here. And what you see, these are 3 scenarios which are planned by a financial planner, right? And that was it, right? And what we handed out to the client was, let's say, some documents with a lot of figures and maybe some brief description why we have chosen this variant rather than this one, right? And so we thought, hey, this is maybe a perfect thing for generative AI, right? So what we did, we created a tool which we call Baloise FX, like financial well-being, and this is somehow a kind of wizard, right? There you can go through chapter as an financial advisor and see whether the generated text is good or not good, right? You're able to give some feedback, so the text is changed, right, through a chat mod. Beneath this application, we have set up a multi-agent thing. So there's one writer, there's one who's delivering the figures or checking the figures, there's one who's checking whether the spelling is proper, and so on, right? So if you want more details, ask my colleague Thomas, please. And at the end, right, it's generating a document which looks like this, with figures and explanations and so on. And I think you cannot read anything, but believe me, it's 60 pages long, right? With a theoretical background, with whatever, and what could happen if you change it here and there, right? And this is quite impressive, right? And if you think about where this is heading to, right? Now you have this financial advisor, right? He's running through the process. The next thing we've planned is that the advisor will get advices and hints, all right, through his planning process, and maybe in a later future it will be like that we can offer this as a self-service where we do not need the financial advisor anymore and just do it via Gen AI in a digital way, right? This is really, really impressive, right? And I don't know who has validating some ChatGPT results. This is a 60 pages document, and it's properly, right? So it's a really big thing. Okay, I jump over this one and just bring the success factors. How could we achieve this, right? Some figures there. We have now 40 models running, around 20 applications are there. We have 10 data marts we are maintaining, right? And let's say the first thing is have a strong team, right? And we had a strong team working in agile mode, and we were able to integrate the Domino team into this agile mode of working, right? Which really was pushing us forward, right? Then at the end, the platform itself, right, is supporting this, right? So we could onboard the people at once, right? Those who were able to create individual solutions with Anaconda or with RStudio. This was no issue, really perfect. Deployment processes are so fast, really, really great, right? Maybe the third thing, and this is more a management thing from my point of view, it's the value first approach which we are driving. So we are also creating proof of concepts, but we call it not proof of concept, we call it proof of value, because we create an MVP which we then prove with the business, right? And they have to show us, yes, if we use it, we get this money out of it, and then we go into a further development step, right? With this one, we're very let's say successful, and at last it's always the same what they say, you need a strong management support, right? So pushing the people, doing new things and so on, this requires really the management stuff. Okay, I think my time is over. hope I could give you some impressions, right? I'm closing, as you might have realized, so we are now 1 year in production roundabout, and still changes ahead. A lot of things to do, but I guess we're on a good way. Thank you very much.